Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming here. My name is Simon Beckerman. I am the founder of Depop. I am half Italian and half English, but I always grew up in Italy and lived there, so pardon if sometimes I have some little problems with my English. I'm here today to talk to you about Depop, the app which we are launching here in the UK. And first of all, a little bit of background about me. I started my career in the publishing world by publishing a magazine together with my brother called People in Groove, abbreviated PIG, which is a funny name. It was a magazine in Italy about fashion, music, and which talked about the latest trends in the creative world. So we used to feature young and emerging artists in music and fashion, as I said, and in cinema, in design. And the magazine has been going on for more than 10 years, and it's become one of the most influential magazine especially in fashion and music in our country. We had all of the major fashion companies as advertisers, and we were used by them as test beds to seed their products through influencers and trendsetters. Then I also launched with my brother another company in 2007, completely different world, sunglasses company. And the idea came out because we started having some, how do you call them, stylists who wore colorful sunglasses whilst doing shootings for our magazine, and we noticed that this was a trend that was coming out, and so we jumped into it by producing these very high quality colored sunglasses made in Italy with Zeiss lens. In the first year, we managed to sell more than 100,000 pair of sunglasses. Up to date, we are nearly at 1 million pair of sunglasses with a 13 million euros revenue. And the nice thing about the sunglasses is that they have been worn by all the major celebrities worldwide. Here we have 4 examples, and all of them just purchased the sunglasses because they love them. So this is a bit of my background. And Depop came from the idea that I had to launch a shop, to sell the best products that we featured in our magazine. We wanted to monetize the magazine, obviously, because the publishing world was, the paper wasn't doing a lot of money anymore. And so the idea was to do a shop. So I designed this little shop with some criterias in mind. First of all, it should have been mobile, because all of our users were starting to use mobile, obviously, iPhones. Second of all, based on the experience I had with the magazine, it had to be referential. So I wanted the readers of our magazine to know what the other readers were buying and also what they liked, so I could buy the same things that they bought. And so I explored many possibilities whilst I was designing, and the most simple one was the structure that many apps have now, for example, Instagram or Twitter or Pinterest or Fancy, where you have a home where you can see what the people you follow are selling. You have an explore section where we can suggest you the best items around. And then we have an activity section where you can see what your friends like and what they buy, as I said. And when the app was ready, I decided not to limit only the magazine as a seller, but to open it up to everyone. So we launched the app immediately in last year, only in Italy. And we immediately discovered, because of some features we had in the app, for example, the chat, that people were loving to trade personally with it. So they use the app a lot to meet people, to socialize, and to buy stuff as they would do in real life in a normal flea market. So this is how it's used. The app is very simple. You just take a picture if you want to sell anything you like, exactly like you do with Instagram. You can choose between, you can put your location, you put a price, you decide on a delivery, which is very, very simple, and you can put more pictures. And then you can also share it instantly on your social networks, so Facebook and Twitter initially. When an item is up for sale, I can see it there in my feed together with all the items that my friends are selling. And when I see the item, I can like, I can comment, or I can directly buy if the seller accepts PayPal. Also from there, I can press more and chat directly, so the chat is a very, very used feature in our app. People love to chat with each other. And so this is the simplicity of listing an item for sale. Then we have an explore section which is very simple now. We feature some of the most interesting items that are for sale on our community. And for that, we are leveraging on my experience on how to, the curation and the selection. But this is a very nice area because we would like to evolve this in the future in a more magazine-ish style area where we suggest more and more items to the buyers. So a more manually curated section. And this is it. Every user has a profile where you can see how many people they follow, how many people follow them, the items for sale. In the next version, we will be able to see directly also all the items they like, so they can curate themselves a profile. And this is it. This is basically the app. And I am now going to introduce you to Runar, the COO of Depop, who will give you some numbers of how the app is going on until now. Thank you.
Hello everyone, as Simon said, I'm the CEO of Depop. To give a brief background, I've been building companies for as long as I can remember. I was part of the recently founding team of a company called SIB. It was a mobile social network, and it sold to Vodafone back in 2008 for 50 million. 6 months ago, I met Simon. I immediately was captivated by his vision. I had a bit of a look into the company, how it was going. It was going well. It's going better now. And I'm here now to share where we're heading. So we made this app available in the UK back in spring. Since then, we've been very focused on getting really interesting sellers on board. So we've been out there trying to seed the market with some really nice shops. And in the meantime, growth started to happen. So growth happens through social media. It seems that as we're a social commerce platform, it really pays off if you have a huge social following. So we've seen that people that have a good social following go into Depop, convert that social following and that social capital, if you like, to sales and then eventually cash. So we've seen people coming on board, getting the next 1,000 people in a day, and then that 1,000 people comes 2,000 a day after. So it's quite interesting to see. And obviously, I think every marketplace in the world right now is integrating social or has social media integrated already. But you don't get the effect of social media if you don't have a passionate user base and a sticky user base. One thing that we found is that we have quite a good customer stickiness, and then we have exceptional customer addiction. Customer addiction is this. My name is Hannah, and I have a Depop addiction. Quite a lot of these popping up on reviews and tweets. Quite a lot of people saying on reviews, Depop's a drug, be careful, which is pretty good. And it secures us a very high active user base. So half of the users that ever registered for Depop are still active on a monthly basis. And by being active, and some of these people have a lot of followings on social media. If you add Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, they can really make an effort, and that's what we're seeing. So, how to measure traction on a social commerce platform? But the trick is you have to look at both the commerce and the social. So, if we first look at the commerce KPIs, the 120,000 users that we have in now have well over 1 million items to choose from, and those 1 million items come from 38,000 shops. Those 38,000 shops are well-known shops around London, anywhere else that have a Depop spawn. They are vintage sellers that sell on markets, that then have a Depop shop in addition. The individual designers that never sold them their items directly before now go on Depop because they like this way of personal selling. And then the girl next door making a nice shop out of her closet, quite a lot of those as well. And the items are generally, the biggest group is fashion and accessories. Second biggest group is vintage and collectibles. The items that we currently have in our Depop inventory are worth 40 million. Our business model is quite simple. We take 10% commission of anything you sell. There's no listing fee. There's no possibility to pay us to get your products featured specifically, because the way that you get your products featured is just like in social media. Can't really buy it. You can buy it a little bit, but at the end, it depends on the content and your social standing and your social graph, which brings us nicely to the social stats. So we've so far have had users on Depop following sellers and other buyers 18 million times. What happens when you follow someone is that then you can see everything that they like, that they buy, that they sell. So it becomes a social discovery engine. The likes are quite popular, so we have 3 million likes from buyers that see an item that they like. They might not buy it immediately, they like it. We see a very clear correlation between the more likes an item gets, the more likely it is to sell. Why? Because every time I like something, anyone that follows me on Depop sees that I like it. So you might see the same item a few times popping up because people that you are following because you like their style like an item, and that's how it sells. Once this whole beyond the social likes and the commenting and what you see, at some point it gets into transaction. People like to chat before they buy. So in the since we launched, we've seen 10 million messages sent on the platforms. Generally, buyers asking questions to sellers, sellers answering, but also because this is a social commerce platform, people go here and make friends in some way. So 50,000 messages were sent on our platform yesterday, and that's what fuels the social platform. If we look at the growth, as said, we're just getting started. I think the space of social commerce is just getting started. Our hope is that we are going to get a pretty large share of that market. So far, it's looking good. So we've been doubling our items for sale every 3 or 4 months since we started, and we're on track to continue to do so. The other metrics are generally following suit. So the social metrics are following suit. Numbers of items bought, etc. So it's all looking quite good, but it's important to realize we're still in the early stage of the business, and we don't want to only focus on numbers. Social commerce, it's quite important that you look at it as growing a social business. So it's not about optimizing average basket size and so on just now. That's going to come. But right now, it's about making sure that it's not just a commerce platform with a social add-on, but it's a fundamentally social commerce platform. And by the way that we do that is by keeping it personal. So even though we are policing the platform quite vigilantly for fake items or items that you aren't allowed to sell, we also have some discretion and we allow things such as this. So the classic is the silly pet in a silly costume. Or the more relevant, like the middle seller here, sending a picture from the beach to tell her buyers that she's on holiday and the shop is closed. It's a way that a social commerce platform works. Or a very much used gesture is people going to the post office and doing a selfie and then tagging the buyer saying, now I've shipped your package. Or as in this case, just taking the picture of a few packages and tagging all the buyers. So this is how social commerce might look like. We think this is a space that's going to be growing. We think it might disrupt a few of the existing players in this space. If you want to try it, we're available on iPhone now, Android soon. And if you have any questions, we're going to be at the back here after this presentation. But thank you for listening.